The slight hint of green is enough to excite my feet rapidly into motion. Wind rippling through my fur. For a moment, I feel alive. The thrill dies. A few short strides. It's met with bars. A gate. A fence. A wall. A trap. Can't seem to escape.
Taken away so long ago, faint memories, it wasn't always this way. People come and people go. The cages are in my eyes. There's a way the breeze blows that tugs on my dreams, puts the back of my mind on speed dial. Several forests beyond this wall, something louder than the running faucet's call. The pull of who you want me to be is strong. The trap is not where I belong.
Deja vu. Every damn day. My life defined, enclosed by the men who built my narrow bars, selling tickets so children could see the sad remnants of my caged life.
Never learned the stories told, the ancient paths through ancient homes. A huckleberry dances on the rain, but never grows here in the shade. Several forests beyond this wall, something louder than the running faucet's call. The pull towards who you want me to be is strong. The trap is not where I belong. Oh, oh, oh.
I pace in desperation, my life reduced to redundant circles, never leading me anywhere. Despite the illusion of comfort, my body knows that trapped is not where I belong.
I know ghosts beside my open eyes, free to roam, just not outside. Always faces, scheduled lives, one song to sing, but something's not right. Long does it take to wipe the cage from your eyes? Long does it take to wipe the cage from your eyes? Long does it take to wipe the cage from your eyes? Long does it take to wipe the cage from your eyes? There's ever a forest beyond this wall, something louder than the running faucet's call. There's ever a forest beyond the wall, something louder than the running faucet's call. The pull towards who you want me to be is strong. The trap is not where I belong. The trap is not where I belong. Trapped is not where I belong. Where I belong. Where I belong. Where I belong.
They wanted me to stay inside their box, to color inside their lines. They wanted me to stay inside their box, easily judged, easily classified. They wanted me to stay inside their box, afraid if my box moved, their box would topple from its comfortable perch. They wanted me to stay inside their box, but their box was narrow and empty. They wanted me to stay inside their box, but there were hinges on the lid. We were protesting violence when violence met us, gun in hand, firing. We were standing up for people losing their lives when our lives were lost. We were demanding our voices be heard when they were forever silenced. We would not accept being treated as less than human when they made us less than alive. We fell at Kent State, at Jaliyah Valabah. Our blood spilled onto the streets of Orangeburg, South Carolina, Soweto, Tiananmen Square. We are the casualties of nonconformity. The system wanted us to remain dutifully quiet and complacent, but it was never the right time to be silent.
Trying to get by. Lord knows there's such suffering, so many people's eyes. Oh, I know we got to love each other. I don't know how to let my hand. Give me the strength to love. Give me the strength to love. Give me the strength to love. Stand up tall. just goes. We gotta love each other. I know we'll get there if we try. Give me the strength to love. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on, yeah, love, love, love. Give me the strength to 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 love.
The diagnosis was terminal. The patient's suffering evident from being battered and neglected through her many years, continuously harmed by the very ones for whom she had endlessly provided. But her offerings were never sufficient. Greedily, they always demanded more. They took everything she could give, using it momentarily and then discarding it carelessly on her floor. The rot piled quicker than she could handle, seeping into her soil, into her water. She lay on her deathbed, the thermometer in her mouth noting the alarming rate with which her temperature continued to rise. As her sickness escalated, calls to her family were made. Many denied she was sick at all. Many wished they could help, but were too busy with their own lives and couldn't be bothered to help ease her pain. Some simply ignored the phone's insistent ringing, unwilling to admit they cannot live without her, that their children will suffer the consequences of their indifference. But the patient won't fully die. At some point, the invasive parasite that pushes her relentlessly towards her demise will cease to be. And then, finally, with their weight off her sagging shoulders, she can begin to heal.
Don't tell me that it's alright. I know the truth inside. Don't tell me about oversight. I know the truth you hide. Well, the sea's a beautiful place. The sea's my only home. And if you break this place, no fix will ever know. I don't want your poison. I don't want your money or crew. I don't want your future. I want a future too. Don't tell me that the water's safe, that the smell won't sicken me. I don't wanna explode my place, trying to make some tea. Well, the sea's a beautiful place. It's a home to more than just me. And if you break this place, no fix will ever see. I don't want your poison. Don't want your money or crew.
charbroiling towards extinction. The speed with which the planet's lungs are being intentionally cut and burned makes me wonder how many years my sons have before the planet collapses under the heavy, greedy, oblivious shoes of humanity. Makes me wonder which animals are feeling the flames on their fleeing backs, whose homes were just today destroyed, and which species we bumped to the front of the line in the endless progression towards extinction. Makes me wonder how much longer you'll take your beef charbroiled on the flames of global warming, and whether you will even notice the rising heat of the water before it boils us alive. They can be clenched tightly or firmly straightened to strike with force and intimidation against the face of someone feared or someone loved, a stranger, a date, a child, a spouse. But they can also reach to lift one who has fallen or been kicked to the ground. They can cock the hammer, steady the barrel, and squeeze the trigger, carnage fall where it may. Yet they can wrap another tightly in a warm and loving embrace.
Every bullet takes. Every bullet is pain. No exceptions, no rules. A mother cries every time. No exceptions, no rules. Light your candle for the headline. Nothing's out of reach. We put a man on the moon. Can we live in peace? Nothing can't conceive. Yet the tears flow like falling leaves. When we say we're too valuable, when we say we're too valuable, every minute we waste. Invest in the grave. No exceptions, how cruel. Our children pay for our sins. No exceptions, one rule. We the people say we're tired of this. Nothing is out of reach. We put a man on the moon. Can we live in peace? Nothing we can't conceive. Yet the tears flow like falling leaves. When we say we're too valuable, when we say we're too valuable,
They can slit a throat or pay to have it done for a bleating, bloody slice on a death-filled dinner plate. Or they can pry or pay to have it done beans from their oblong pods. They can hold a beer and a steering wheel at the same time. They can pick a banjo, mold shapes out of clay. They can work the soil, reclaim the earth. They can bring food as an offering to a hungry belly.
and every bullet takes. Every bullet is pain. No exceptions, no rules. that cries every time. Nothing is out of reach. We got a man on the moon. Can we live in peace? Nothing can't conceive. If the world felt like falling leaves. When we say we're to value, when we say we're to value, when we
They can click a keyboard or hold a pencil or a protest sign in the fight against injustice, or they can cover eyes and pretend it isn't there. They can build, they can tear down, they can bring forth compassion or destruction. If all else fails, they can quietly twiddle their thumbs. There is always a choice how we use our hands.
When will we say we're too valuable? Whoa.
Sometimes the very same people who shout the loudest about their Christianity have a very different view of the Bible than mine. Ignore the sick. My neighbor is not my problem.
Wait, I thought the Bible said love.
Hate the gays.
Strange. I could have sworn it said love.
America first.
I don't remember Jesus drawing lines nor picking favorites.
Build walls. Keep them out.
But wasn't there something about whatever you do to the least of these you do to me?
Let the poor fend for themselves.
Weird, my recollection was love.
Kill your enemies before they kill you.
Oh, and I was certain it was love.
I guess I could grab a Bible, glance back, refresh.
It's been a few years.
Perhaps my memory is fuzzy.
Love, 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 Swore I said love. Hot times you've been living in, can't turn away from the images. Be a princess, that's your word. Wait around for your prince to return. Be yourself, that's easy to say. Everyone teaches you to behave. You can rise up to anything, cause you're the garden warrior, goddess queen. Stand up now, be your Shero. You got all you need. Stand up now, be your Shero. All that's left is to believe. Fast you grow up with all the hormones on your plate and your cup. Soon as you can go paint your face. No room for a girl so plain. There's another voice to listen to, one that says you're divine, you beauty is your natural state. Nothing less than divine and God made. Stand up now, be your Shero. You got all you need. Stand up now, be your Shero. All that's left is to believe. Gotta fight to be brave. Gotta watch what you say. Oh, I believe in you and all the miracles you will do. I'm just here to help you see power in the light of your own being. I'm just here to help you see. You let go. You're everything. Stand up now, be your Shero. You got all you need. Stand up now, be your Shero. All that's left is to believe. Oh, believe. Yeah, believe. Oh, yeah. Come on, be your Shero.
When so many wanted you to stay home for Ruby Bridges. Armed with only your books and your unbelievably strong determination, you walked. The street was lined with the angriest white faces you had yet to see, shouting things more vile than you could imagine. Still, you walked. Hatred, fear, and ignorance stood side by side, arm in arm, to block your path. But you walked. Bombarded with slurs and threats of death, yet you walked. A black baby doll was placed in a coffin, an unmistakable sign of the danger ahead, and you walked. With more courage than I can imagine, facing depths of discrimination I can't even begin to comprehend. On, you walked, without a whimper, without a tear. When you were only 6, you walked. Still, you walked. But you walked. And you walked. On, you walked. I see all these people shouting with hate, and I was just wondering, now, are we great? We've demonized immigrants, locked children in crates, and I was just wondering, now, are we great? We attacked your rights because you aren't straight, and I was just wondering, now, are we great? We declared a religion we won't tolerate, and I was just wondering, now, are we great? Hate crimes have climbed at an alarming rate, and I was just wondering, now, are we great? We left the Paris Accord, disbelieving our fate. I was just wondering, now, are we great? Too many students keep losing classmates, and I was just wondering, now, are we great? We ignore the homeless, but the rich celebrate, and I was just wondering, now, are we great? We attack the free press and their right to debate, and I was just wondering, now, are we great? Women's rights to their bodies evaporate, and I was just wondering, now, are we great? Well, not just great, but great again. And that has me wondering, when? The time of tribal extinction? Or when we shackled our slaves? When women couldn't vote? Oh, those were the days. When we hid in our closets from genuine fear? When we were locked in prison for just being queer? When American citizens of Japanese descent were held indefinitely in internment? When we granted rights based on the color of skin? When segregation forever, our governors grinned? When Nazis marched openly out in the street? Something I never thought we'd repeat. Is it greatness now and greatness then that our government kills with a fountain pen? Is this greatness we see as we look all over? I guess greatness is in the eye of the beholder.